Alright guys, we're going to take a look at ticker NIO. As you can see here on this 6-month 4-hour chart here, it's a pretty strong uptrend going on here, but there was what looks to be a possibly price correction and continuation of that uptrend, but I would want to make sure it doesn't drop below that 41 support that it hit. Right now it's back at 43, about 43.50, give or take, and but what I want to watch out for, if you see this MACD down here, generally speaking, that's not going to just jump back to green, just that one red bar right there, that's not just going to jump back to green without some sort of news or some sort of catalyst happening, driver force there. That would just have to be a lot of buying at once and very quickly. But if you break it down and look a little bit closer on the 30-minute time frame here, you see MACD is ready to cross over on that 30-minute time frame, which, essentially, if you're just looking further out on the time frames, that when the MACD is going to cross over on the 30-minute time frame, obviously on the that 4-hour time frame, it's not going to quite cross over yet, but that MACD is going to get less red. So that essentially is just, they all kind of coincide. You're going to see in a lot of my videos, I'll be flipping through 30-minute chart, 5-minute chart, 1-minute chart, the 4-hour chart, hourly chart, and of course the daily chart as well. You kind of want to look at all of them, kind of see which one it's really following the best. Sometimes the different calculations that each indicators do on each time frame are a little bit different, and sometimes one can give you a little bit more accurate picture than the other. Just definitely keep that in mind when you're looking at the chart, at the stock price. Sorry. But overall for Monday, it is looking good. I would be cautious. Just make sure it doesn't fall below. Really, I mean, the support's 40, I guess it did drop down to about 40.50, but I honestly would not want to see this drop anywhere below like 43, 42.50 at the most, 42.50. If it dropped below that, I would stay away for a bit and see which direction it was going to head. But if it can hold and move forward from this level, I would say it's probably a good buy, a good play. But we'll see what tomorrow brings, guys. Oh, before I go, one thing I will add, down here, I don't think I mentioned this, this RSI is really low, so it's really oversold, and that does bring a lot of room for the buying to pick up and the price to pull back up from here. Alright, now I'm really done. Y'all have a nice day. Alright guys, we're going to take a look at my technical setup that I've used that I find is very reliable. Remember, it is technical analysis. Nothing's 100% right all the time. I generally find it to be correct about 80% of the time, which even that is a stretch to say, and because you're not going to get 80% results all the time, especially just starting out, because a lot of other factors weigh in. You could have a great chart, but you just personally botch it. Like, you get greedy, you make a mistake, you leave your phone on without charging and it dies in your trade, you lose signal, or whatever happens. Anyway, the point being, you're probably not going to get that 80% success rate starting out, but you could, it is possible, But that's a whole different ball game. We're not focused on all that right now. We're just focused on simply the basics, getting started. To dive into all those other factors and things, you got to learn the charts. You got to study the charts, and you got to watch the charts in action. And what I mean by that is literally just watching how MACD works and watching how all your different indicators work. If your MACD crosses from green to red, how does that affect the price movement? Things like that you'll just become second nature to you and that you will learn. All right, so let's go into the technical setup here. You see I got simple moving averages, MACD, RSI, VWAP, TTM wave. I don't even like that one. So I'm going to focus on these guys, but we're going to take all of them off. I know I'm going a little fast right now because that's, important, not important. We're going to get to that in just a moment here. This is going to be a lot of information, so I'm trying to fit this into a short video span whilst, still being beneficial. You get all the information down. So let's go with simple moving average first. We're going to want to add 4 of those guys because 2 of them will be paired together. So you'll have 2 pairs working together of your simple moving averages, and I'll explain that in just a second. Alright, so your first one is going to be, you're going to go over to this length and you're going to set 5, and the next one you're going to go over to that length and you're going to set 20. And the reason you're doing this is because your 5-day is going to overlap with your 20-day SMA. So you're going to want this 5-day a light blue color, light for lower SMA, and that's going to be important in just a moment. And then you got your higher SMA, and that's going to be a dark blue. So I think now you are starting to catch on. If you don't get that, you should probably rethink this whole investment thing. So anyway, carry on. Alright, so we got our simple moving averages. Now we're going to go to one of my favorites, this MACD. We're just going to add it. We don't have to do anything to it. Bam, RSI. We're just going to add it. Don't even have to do anything to it. VWAP. Going to add it. Don't even have to do anything to it. It's freaking beautiful. MACD essentially is like a momentum indicator. It's going to show bars green and red. Green being high buying, red being high selling. So when it's green, it's going up generally. When it's red, it's going down. So when it's transitioning from green to red, selling or buying to selling, red to green, selling to buying. Pretty straightforward. You can do some reading on all these indicators in your spare time once you have it all set up and you're learning to use it. The knowing how to use it is important, but again, this is just getting the basics set up down for yourself. These are things you need to know. So now we're going to hit done, and we should have beautiful little lines here. Nope, something went wrong with that. Give me just a brief moment here. Technical difficulties. Okay, there we go. Now it's looking good. We got RSI, that's the bottom here. That is going to be overbought and oversold. If it's oversold, it generally is going to bounce and recover, and the price is going to go back up. If it's overbought, it's generally going to get sold off and drop back down. So you got anything over 70 is going to be overbought. Anything below 30 is going to be oversold. So that is just a quick rundown of my technical setup. Like